Bonjour, bonjour, and to all of you, wherever you come from and wherever you are connecting from today, I would like to begin by extending a very, very warm welcome to Sciences Po. I'm told that there are more than 13,000 people joining us for today's digital open house, and I hope that the occasion gives you the opportunity to learn more about our institution, about its diverse studies, and the many, many pathways you can pursue in your undergraduate careers. It is my great fortune to serve as Dean of Undergraduate Studies at Sciences Po, which encompasses 7 unique campuses and learning environments and over 5,000 unique students. We all come together around one project, the Bachelor of Arts, which I would like to present to you briefly should you pursue your studies at the Sciences Po College, also called in French, le Collège Universitaire. By making the decision to study at Sciences Po, you will be a part of our community not only for the 3 years bachelor degree, but also for the vast majority of you. You will also pursue a master's degree through direct admission. In selecting Sciences Po, you will make a commitment to take on challenging studies in the social sciences, but also in humanities. Your degree is a central part of that experience. It is important for you to understand that the fundamentals of undergraduate studies at Sciences Po are of 3 kinds. First of all, knowledge and methods. Secondly, independent thought. And also, lastly, engagement. So first of all, knowledge and methods. Learning and methodological tools will be a structural part of your studies starting on day 1. Actually, in your first year, the foundation will be laid for a core discipline in social sciences. During the first semester, you will study Introduction to Economics, History, and Law. Then, during the second semester, you will study Introductions to Political Science, Sociology, and what we call Political Humanities. In year 2, your interdisciplinary major will define the course of your degree, and in year 3, whilst abroad, meaning outside of France, by the way, you will complete your major and geographic specialization. Some of the famous classic méthodes à la Sciences Po methods that you might have heard of focus on analytical ability and the 2-part outline in writing essays. But your major will work on methods even more. For example, should you choose the economy and society major, you might decide to work on ethnographic or econometric methods. Should you choose the politics and government major, you might focus your methodological skills in cartography. And should you choose the political humanities major, you might want to work on archival research. Believe me, these disciplinary tools will be an unquestionable asset in your life, in your professional life. The second pillar of your bachelor's at Sciences Po is independent thought, l'esprit critique. In the pure tradition of the liberal arts degree, we hope that your time at the college will be rich and meaningful when it comes to building your library of knowledge. Our arts workshops have been designed as a space for you to understand, critique, but also to nuance your expression as you navigate questions related to the art of politics and the politics of art. These workshops will also hopefully be a time to build confidence as you affirm your place in our greater community. Let me give you some examples of art workshops. On the Poitiers campus, for example, students can choose to explore the sociopolitical forms of expression of street art in Latin America, while those in Menton, southeast part of France, might participate in a workshop on the representations of the Mediterranean Sea in contemporary art. Last but not least, your degree is founded on a principle of engagement, le parcours civique en français, in French. The defining line of the 3 years of your undergraduate degree will be designed by you in the Civic learning program, just what I said, le parcours civique en français. It is our hope that this civic learning program will help you articulate the intersection of your academic and civic aspirations in society. By getting involved directly in the field, this French experience of yours, along with the insights that you will gain, will be the basis of your final capstone project, what we call le grand écrit. An advisor will guide you to deepen your analysis as you construct a position paper that will be either policy-oriented or research-oriented. So, dear future students, dear candidates, as you can understand, we're impatient to welcome you to Sciences Po, to start building new knowledge and methods, to begin affirming your independent thought as young scholars and to design a course of meaningful engagement based on your experience with us. So in just a minute, we're going to hear from some young alumni of the college, 4 of them, who are going to share their experiences with us. But first, let's have a look at all of the different facets and faces of our 7 campuses all around France, and see if you can recognize any familiar faces.
Welcome to Sciences Po.
As you already know, Sciences Po is an internationally ranked social science research university, where you will be joining a multicultural community of students. As an undergraduate student, you will be part of a student body consisting of 50% international students, representing over 100 nationalities. You'll learn the fundamentals of social sciences with core courses in history, law, political science, economics, political theory, and sociology, which will guide you to your major of choice. You'll study at one of our 7 dynamic campuses in France, in Paris, Nancy, Dijon, Poitiers, Le Havre, Menton, or Reims, where you will delve into a specific geographic specialization. You have chosen to study in France and in Europe for a unique educational approach to addressing social issues. You'll learn from professors and practitioners in interdisciplinary courses that mix theoretical and applied methods in classes that are interactive and adapted to both in-person and online instruction. Throughout your time at Sciences Po, you'll benefit from personalized advising from our administrative and academic teams, career services, and more. You will study foreign languages and pursue artistic workshops. You will design your civic learning program, a distinct civic engagement or community service project that will allow you to gain real experience outside of our walls in organizations that focus on the public good. You will immerse yourself in the rich campus life at Sciences Po and attend many events that we organize each year, during which international public figures share their greatest advice and best practices. You will spend your 3rd year abroad at one of our 470 partner universities, and you may pursue a master's degree at one of our graduate schools who offer you direct admission from the Sciences Po College. At Sciences Po, we are committed to environmental action through our Make It Work initiative. Hundreds of courses investigate issues related to climate change, biodiversity, and the ecological transition. Our university is also socially conscious, and we believe that financial difficulties should not impede access to study. Nearly 1/3 of our students receive scholarships to help finance their education. As international degree-seeking students, you have made the choice to join a community of determined, independent thinkers. Upon graduation, you will be part of a network of 95,000 alumni. Having mastered the fundamentals of the social sciences, you will be a competitive contributor to the global economy. At Sciences Po, our greatest mission is to foster and unleash your talent. Your journey starts now. Welcome.
Sciences Po. Bonjour à toutes et bonjour à tous. We're going to speak in English, but just to say hello. And really, I thank you very, very much for taking the time to joining us and to talk to the future candidates at Sciences Po. So you're here with us today, and we have two students from Reims. From the Reims campus. We have one student from Le Havre campus and one from Dijon campus. So Martina, Claire, Louise, and Yanis, I would like to ask you, how, did you make up your mind, when did you decide to apply to Sciences Po? Why applying to Sciences Po became a very important decision for you? Do you have any advice for the future students? And secondly, I will ask you some questions about your own experiences at Sciences Po. So who would like to start? Yanis. Let's
right.
Yeah. So Yanis, you come from Le Havre campus, and
That's
so
right.
why did you decide to apply to both Sciences Po and these particular campus in particular?
Well, I think there were multiple reasons why I did so. First of all, because I think it's very important to always keep your options open as a student. And this is something that I keep doing today in my academic career. And Sciences Po I really felt something that could be very harmonious within my parcours, within my greater studies. And I chose the Le Havre campus relatively naturally because I had lived in Asia for a long time, in Shanghai and Hong Kong. And I wanted to further this by actually being able to do some of my studies more in depth on that region and on those issues, which is why I went with the Le Havre campus. And eventually the choice became very natural when I got my admission results. I had a very good time at my interview with then dean of my campus, and I really felt like I would belong there. I had the opportunity to talk to some alumni from the campus, and it was a community that looked very engaging and very interesting.
So I understand that you spoke Chinese before being a Sciences Po student. Did you continue your learning? Did you continue to learn Chinese while you were at Sciences Po? And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was able to continue. We have 4 hours of Mandarin a week, which was really amazing, with a native professor from China. And it was also very interesting because I was able to continue that studying outside of the walls of a classroom because we had classmates that were from China as well. And being able to engage and converse with them was really a very unique opportunity as well.
Thank you, Yanis. Definitely you'll come back later on. Just maybe let's move to the Reims campus with the two students representative of that campus, Martina and Louise. Maybe Martina. Martina, you come from Croatia?
Yes, I do. I've been studying at the Dijon campus.
Oh, okay, sorry. Dijon, I'm sorry. Yes, you come from Dijon. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, please. So anyway, explain us your experience.
Nevertheless, I come from Croatia, and also that was the big part of the reason why I chose Dijon campus. That is focused on specifically Central and Eastern Europe, which is the region I very much remain interested in, and I continue even professionally to kind of stay focused on the region. And the second quite important aspect is the fact that when I was finishing my high school, as a lot of students do, I wasn't exactly sure which is the one topic I would like to work on for the rest of my life. So Sciences Po was offering a high-quality multidisciplinary approach and multidisciplinary studies where I could try out different things and decide what exactly I want to do a bit later. And I find that very, very important and very also academically enriching for any student that wants to join Sciences Po.
Okay. Do you remember some courses that you took during the year you were in Dijon? Would you just please introduce that courses to the students?
I took courses from very different fields. Some of them were more French focused, such as, for example, French constitutional law, or at the same time I was taking European history, or even classes that were very Southeast Europe specific or Central Europe specific, as well as I was also studying Russian for a year, which was very region-specific as well. So it was a great mix of very different international insights.
Okay, so you could improve both your French and your Russian while you were in Dijon.
And my English, all of
And
that.
your English as well, which is a great way because you were, quite small, small size city, in a city of a small size, but still a very international city. Wonderful. So now we switch to Hans, and I'm really sorry for my mistake, Martina. Let's switch to Hans and maybe ask Louise. Louise, do you remember what did you write in your motivation letter? And would you give, what kind of advices you would give to the students who currently want to apply to Sciences Po?
So hello everyone. I remember that in my motivation letter, I actually started off by saying I wanted to work in the United Nations. Mm-hmm. And I think I wasn't an exception.
No.
But funny enough is that 3 years later, it's maybe not the last thing I'd like to do, but it's definitely, I've discovered that another field, I was very interested in another field. And that's something, as Martina said, that's really amazing about Sciences Po is that I think when you're about to graduate high school, it's very rare to really be sure about what you want to do with your life, where you want to go ahead in your studies. And Sciences Po is really a way to really enjoy.
Give you time, open your minds.
Yes,
give you some time.
You can actually study from with excellent professors and students. You can also learn by doing because you can join so many different associations. I was a part of the Bureau des élèves, which is kind of a student council in charge of the student life on campus. You can join us also a sports team. I was part of the rugby and the cheerleading team. And also the diversity of students on campus. I remember that on Reims, there are 2 programs. There's the Euro-American program, of which I was part of, and there's also the Euro-African program. So it meant that we were almost, I think, 80 nationalities on campus, which is super rich to discover. And if I could give you one advice is maybe not to see Sciences Po as an end in itself, but more as a way to build yourself and really discover what you like and become someone you love.
It's really a very important advice. It's a great advice that you just gave to our students. Well, you're very right. A lot of students in their application letter, basically, very often do they say, I want to become a journalist or work at the United Nations. And we sometimes, make a joke and say, but you're already at the UN because Sciences Po is basically a little UN. We have more than 120 nationalities at Sciences Po. Thank you so much. Last but not least, Claire. Claire, you were also in Reims. I'm not so sure that you were doing rugby, but you did. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience in this beautiful campus? Sure. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, everyone. So yes, I was in the Euro-American program. I actually was with Louise in several of my classes, and because this life on campus is so rich, we kind of got to know each other's by the time. So I joined Sciences Po after having spent my baccalaureate year studying science. And what I was looking for was kind of this diversity of subjects that Sciences Po offers, and maybe also this exposure to the wide international community that Louise just mentioned. And I truly had this idea of getting to a school to which I felt I belonged and getting the tools to better understand society. And from what I recall and of what I had written in my motivation letter, I actually wanted to get the tools to understand and improve society. And I must say this is something that I still hold very close to my heart and is still very true. Mm-hmm. And that is definitely something I must say that is the core of Sciences Po to me. The 2 years I spent in Reims and the 3rd year that I spent in Montreal for my exchange year constituted a very strong pathway in which I gathered many tools, very diverse tools, to be honest, soft but also hard skills, in both the academic pathway, but also in the associative pathway. As Louise just mentioned, being part of an association has also been something very, very dear to me. And I was involved in the Sciences Po Environment Association, which is also a student council, but aiming at being sustainability issues. And what I feel is very rich in Sciences Po is that you can connect all these aspects. You connect your personal commitments to your academic path, and that is to me the biggest strength, and that is what, for example, took me to understand what I really wanted to do. And this is something that is kind of magical because it follows your pathway and helps you grow in the end.
Thank you so much, Claire. You know, you make me think of two important aspects that I would like to mention to our future students, potentially future students. First of all, you major in science during your high school. And we actually launched a new diploma last year, both in Paris and in the Reims campus, a diploma called Bachelor of Arts and Sciences, which combine precisely humanities, social sciences, and natural sciences. And we really would like to have a lot of international students joining that diploma, both in Paris and in Reims. Just thank you so much for telling me this. And also, I don't know whether you remember, but Président Mion, our president at Sciences Po, during the opening of the academic year, you usually say, what we would like to do at Sciences Po is to make sure that you become truly who you are, and we want to help you becoming who you are truly, and that's exactly what the Bachelor of Arts is about. Maybe a few moments, and let's go back to Yanis. I would like very much to hear about Yanis' experience during his third year abroad. So I understand, Yanis, that you spend, and I hope I don't make a mistake here, that you spend your third year abroad at Tsinghua University in China, a major university. Correct. And so, you used to live in Shanghai and Hong Kong, and then you went back to Beijing. But, how important was in your, during your, your on parcours, I would say, how did you process all of this for the future?
Well, it was, to me, it meant a lot because I had the opportunity of living in China before, but I had never experienced a Chinese education to begin with, and I had never studied China from Chinese professors, from a Chinese perspective, entirely built on sort of that foundation. I had only had a foreigner's perspective on China. And so I really wanted to be able to get that missing piece in my view of and understanding of China. And so this is why I had chosen to go to China for my 3A. And as we do it at Sciences Po, we apply to a lot of different universities. I got the opportunity of going to Tsinghua, which was really unique and in many different ways, because I was able to have very high quality courses in English, but also because I was able to sneak in on some courses taught in Chinese and try and challenge myself to new horizons. And it was interesting also because you are able to study it really from the classroom of any other student, and you're able to really discover it and really engage with students as well from Tsinghua and from your local university. You're able to live the daily life of a student there, and you're able to spend some good time, visit as well a little bit. So this was really a whole very interesting experience, bit too brief to my liking, but it was very interesting nonetheless.
Thank you. It's always too brief when it's a great experience.
It is.
As for the other students, maybe who would like to share her own experience, either concerning the third year abroad or the civic engagement program. We have this Parcours Civic, which is quite unique in France. Yes, it's quite unique and very specific in the philosophy of our bachelor. What about Louise or Claire or Martina? Do you want to talk about your third year or your civic engagement program? What would you like to share with us?
I could talk about my third year, because as I mentioned, I was part of the Euro-American program on the Reims campus. But for my third year, I got the chance to go study law in Buenos Aires, so in Latin America, which was an amazing experience. But you may wonder why I chose to go there, because I was part of the Euro-American program, so it would have been maybe more logical for me to go in North America. Well, as I already had lived in the US for a year, because when I was 15, I took a gap year to go study in an American high school for a year. I'm not saying I knew everything about the United States because it's a huge country, but I felt like I knew a little bit about the culture already. And I really wanted to learn Spanish. And so that's why I decided to go. I chose a public university. I was studying in la Facultad de Derecho de la Universidad de Buenos Aires, which is, it's the best law faculty in all Argentina.
Yeah.
Some argue that even in Latin America, but that's another debate. It was what I really liked is that I got to know really Argentinian students, because in the law faculty there were all over 30,000 students studying, and we were only 70 foreign students, like exchange students. So it was an amazing experience to really dive into, this Argentinian culture. And it also helped me to discover that I did not want to study law further on, because I joined the Master International Management and Sustainability of the School of Innovation in Management. So it was quite a shift, but that's also what Sciences Po is about. It's about getting to know yourself,
Absolutely.
getting to know what you love, what you like, and what you don't like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great experience.
I really like your enthusiasm for Argentina. You hold dear the flag of this law school. It's as a French student and as an international student, you completely exemplify and embody really the philosophy of our Bachelor of Arts. Thank you so much. So as for Martina and Claire, who would like to share one's experience about the SUDIA or the Civic Engagement Program?
Maybe I will quickly build upon what Louise just mentioned, because, we actually are in the same master's degree, International Management and Sustainability, and to make the bridge, what actually helped me maybe realize that I did not want to study environmental policy, as I had mentioned in my motivation letter, was actually the Civic Learning Program. So for me, it has been very, very, very coherent. I started with the first year field internship, which was in an environmental awareness association. Then in the second year, you will have to do a 75 hours field internship, which is a much more long-term perspective, which I did in another association, which was based in Reims, but much more around cultural association events. And I had this idea of environmental associations being a very core thing, very important to me. And I actually focused my capstone project, so my position paper, on environmental associations' role. And I just digged into this, and I had very crucial help from my advisor. And I spent also this year being, in a very diverse environment. I was in Canada for my third year, and my whole perspective changed by the time I had to choose my master. And I had thought a lot about this idea of sustainability, and I just ended up choosing a master's degree reflecting upon my entire civic engagement program. So to me, this has truly been very important.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's amazingly interesting. Thank you so much. Martina, you are going to conclude our session. So please, and I'm very happy, to give the honor to the Dijon campus. So you can talk from your own perspective from the students from the Dijon campus. What would you like to say to conclude our session?
Yes, so also to follow up on what Louise and Claire had just said, your third year experience can end differently, which is to end up actually liking what you went to try out. And this would happen to me. I went to study economics in Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona, and I realized that's something I want to do in my life. And that's why I also continued with the master's in economics and public policy stream. And also I wanted to add one important thing that I found very, very remarkable during my Dijon experience, which is the student associations.
Yeah.
And I was actively engaged in the Association Bourgogne-Balkan Express at the Dijon campus, which actually enabled me and my colleagues to organize different projects in 8 different countries and to show a lot of what Southeast Europe has to offer to Sciences Po students. And what I find particularly insightful here is the level of responsibility and the level of trust that was given to students to organize that sort of things.
Wonderful.
And I find this one experience that really makes us independent, and that's a part of the learning experience of Sciences Po.
It is definitely part of the learning experience. Thank you so much. Your experiences are very inspirational, and on behalf of the Sciences Po College and for our future candidates, I do thank you. Please take care of yourself, and we definitely keep in touch. Thank you. Bye. Sciences Po.